What's good, B fam? Another week, another hat, another week, another UFC fight card to be broken down by yours truly. Welcome to another episode of World's Fastest Breakdown, where I will be going over the main card for UFC Apex Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. Originally, this fight card was supposed to be in Seoul, South Korea, but unfortunately, due to logistic reasons or whatnot, we are back at the Apex. Alright, so before we get into World's Fastest Breakdown for Lewis v. Spivak, let's go into last week or the last UFC event, UFC 283, and go over the results of my picks. So much better second week of the 2023. We went 4-1. Just missed out on the main event. So that brings our 2023 total to 6-4. So back in the green, your boy is attempting to prove I know something. So hoping to duplicate it, even go for a clean sweep in the main event or in the whole card. So let's get into it. I have gotten the timer ready for World's Fastest Breakdown. About to get into it. Here we go. World's Fastest Breakdown, Episode 3, Lewis v. Spivak. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Starting us off, we got Yusaku Kinoshita versus Adam Fugit. This will be Kinoshita's UFC debut as he entered the promotion with a KO victory on Dana White's Contender Series this past fall. I do believe that this will be a showcase bout, at least for the main card. Kinoshita's got a +2 strike differential compared to Fugit, who has actually a -2 strike differential. I think Kinoshita's got great boxing, great head movement, counters. He likes to pull back a lot and throw some counter strikes. And I do think he will display some of that striking prowess and win via KO, TKO in this one. So I'm going with the Japanese debutant in that. In our next bout, we have the return of Doo Ho Choi. He was on about a 2.5 year layoff from the promotion. And I think that time will actually benefit him. He was in 3 back-to-back battles where he lost decisions and was just swinging. He was given and taken in all 3 of those bouts, and unfortunately he lost all of them. I think this was a good time for him to kind of regen his chin, maybe hopefully clean up in his defense, and just clean up some of the things he was missing out on. He is fighting Kevin Nelson. Both of these guys do have negative strike differentials, actually, so they're going to come throw down. This is going to be a stand up, bang them out fight for as long as it lasts. And I do think that even though he did lose his last 3 bouts, they were against higher caliber guys than Nelson has faced. And Nelson has 1 victory in his last 5 fights. So both of these men need a victory. But I do think the returning Choi, Korean Superboy, will get his hand raised in this one. Alright, match 3. I'm taking the over. Pick the over on this one. I know it's heavyweights, but pick the over. We have 2 decision machines between Marcin Tybura and Blagoy Ivanov. These guys are very similar striking-wise, kind of everything-wise, just where they are in the rankings. But I do think Tybura is a little bit more active in the grappling realm, and I do think his mix of at least attempting takedowns and strikes and possibly gassing out Ivanov or just wearing him down will benefit him to win via decision. I am going with Tybura on this one. In our co-main event, we have Da Un Jung versus Devin Clark. Coming off of a KO loss to Dustin Jacoby, Da Un Jung, I think he was pretty cocky. He was getting a little goofy lackadaisical with his hands, and he did get flash KO'd. I do think he has kind of gone back to the drawing board, cleaned it up, will be a little bit more defensively sound in this one. I just think he's better striker. He's got a 3-inch reach advantage over Clark. He's got about a 90% takedown defense rating. I don't think Clark is going to have any ability to strike with him, and if he's unable to grab any takedowns, I just think this is going to be a long night for Clark. I'm going with Da Un Jung in the co-main event. And in our main event, Derek Black beats Lewis, Sergey Spivak. We got the UFC KO leader in Lewis versus a more or less rising prime of prospect in Spivak. Never has Derek Lewis lost 3 in a row, and currently he does have 2 back-to-back losses against very talented youngsters. I think much more talented than Spivak, and they are more striker-dominant guys, kind of more brawlers, similar to himself, where Spivak will try to grapple and maybe take down Lewis. But surprisingly, Lewis is very good against wrestlers. We've seen against Blades, Oleinik, Tybura, various guys of that nature. He actually is pretty good against wrestlers. And I think the same is going to happen in this. There are pictures coming out of Lewis looking much more sleeker and slender in his physique. I think that's going to benefit him, at least if not anything cardio-wise. The power is always going to be there, so I don't think that power is going to leave him. But I do think him slimming down may be able to even push the pace on Spivak and put him out there as quick as possible. I like Lewis. I know he's an underdog, but I like Lewis. Backs against the wall, kind of needs this win. And at least going off the past, Spivak is a guy he usually beats. He should bounce back against Spivak. Spivak really doesn't have the greatest of wins. He does have a win against Tai Tuivasa, but he's very young at the time, very green. And I generally think Lewis is going to put him out. But I will say, if anything, the first grappling exchange will indicate how this fight will go. If Lewis is able to stay on his feet, or at least get a good fight and get back on his feet if he gets taken down, I think ultimately he will have more and more confidence and will win this bout. Again, I'm just picking Derek Lewis, bounce back win, KO win, and I'm taking the Black Beast to close the show. So, as you see, I will go with Kinoshita, Doo Ho Choi, Marcin Tybura, Da Un Jung, and Derek Lewis for 524.36. We'll see how we do. I will catch y'all next week. Remember to like this video, comment your thoughts, give me your predictions, subscribe to the B Fam. We're always going and growing. All right, give me y'all's feedback, and I'll see y'all in the next one. All love and peace.